Shalom, shalom, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Once again, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and who rule well. All right, this is Naaman at the DC camp. And once again, these Edomites are up to their old tricks, all right? Once again, this is aimed at Jakes who are of that forgiving spirit under Esau's version of Christianity, all right? And this reads, this is from USA Today, it says, America has a gruesome, quote unquote, history of lynching, but it's not a federal crime. A House vote could change that. The very title in and of itself should tell you a whole lot. We've been here as a whole. People like to count from Jamestown, but you have to go back further. Actually, we've been here over 500 years, all right, or thereabouts. It's more than 400, because you have to count, when you talk about Esau, Edom, people tend to just focus on what happened with the British, all right, in Jamestown. But no, you have to go back to Portugal and Spain, those Edomites, all right? So in all this time, there's never been any legislation to protect us as a people from lynching, all right? You've had half-hearted attempts, word games, that sort of thing, play on words. But here's the thing with this, and I'm gonna go out on a limb, whatever. This is not aimed at Jake, all right? Because you gotta remember who benefited from the so-called civil rights movement. It was Edomite women, women in general, but specifically Edomite women, so-called white women, and this LGBTIQ, whatever the fuck it is now, all right? And I propose, excuse me, that this is a backdoor way of protecting them, all right? Once again, the title is America has a gruesome history of lynching, but it's not a federal crime. The House vote could change that. The House is expected to vote Wednesday on legislation that would make lynching a federal crime, a move supporters say is long overdue in a country whose history is stained, all right, with the atrocities. I cannot imagine our nation did not have any federal law against lynching when so many so-called African Americans, they're Israelites, have been lynched, said Representative Bobby Rush, a Democrat from Illinois and a lead sponsor of the bill. Lynching was the preferred method of the Ku Klux Klan, the preferred choice of torturing and murdering Israelites. All right, and just to let you know, that's the physical aspect of it. All right, you have to look at the other ways, all right, that lynching goes on. And it brings up here the case of Emmett Till. It says, the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act is named in memory of a 14-year-old Israelite who was murdered in Mississippi in 1955. His brutal death was a catalyst for the civil rights movement. Rush said he proposed the bill at the urging of Reverend Jesse Jackson. We all know about him, who called last year to ask whether he knew there wasn't such a law. I heard the alarm, Rush told USA Today. You know, and this is all posturing, all right, on his part. It says the bill, mostly supported by Democrats, has one Republican co-sponsor, Ohio Representative Michael Turner. Rush said he has been assured by Senate co-sponsors of a similar bill that is passed in the House. It will quickly be brought up for a vote in that chamber. Supporters hope to have it signed into law by the end of February in honor of, here we go, Black History Month. Again, what did I say about posturing? All right, I dread this time of the year because of this bullshit, this Black History Month. It's on the fast track, he said. Whatever. I want to get the fuck up out of here. That's what I want. I'm not looking for my enemy, all right, to like, whenever he feels like it, you know, and it's only if it benefits him. All right, this is, let me go ahead and get the scriptures real quick, because we have as a people, a tendency, and they know this. We've been over here in their charge for so long. They know pretty much what makes us tick. All right, this is, and like I said, other people come over here and benefit, and we keep looking for, this is Lamentation chapter 4. Scroll on down. Verse 17, it says, "As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us." Not only that, they will not, because it's not in their best interest to heal or restore us. All right? Isaiah 42 and 22, I'll get that next. The end of that scripture talks about being restored. How do you restore somebody? Where you got to understand, slavery for us never ended. It just changed its form. All right, everybody gets all weepy-eyed over the Emancipation Proclamation, not understanding what that actually is. All right, and what it actually did. Once again, Lamentations 4 and 17, it says, "As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us." All right, vain. It's vain for such hope. This is Strong's H 1892. Habal, vapor, breath, vapor, vanity. All right, emptiness. All right, figuratively something transitory and unsatisfactory, often used as an adverb altogether, vain, vanity. All right, it's empty promises. All right, they have no intention of relieving our misery as it is, as it were. All right, like I said, posturing. This is, just lead them on, just keep them prisoners of hope. All right, this is all it is. Let's go into Jeremiah 15th chapter and 5. It says, "For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem?" Remember, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. "Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest?" It's rhetorical. All right. So, who shall bemoan? Strong's H 5110. Nawad, to shake, waver, wonder, move to and fro, flutter, show grief, have compassion on. No one. All right. To lament, condole, show sympathy. Again, no one. All right. So let's see, it's another one here. Or who shall go aside? Okay, who shall have pity? Strong's H 2550. Hamal, to spare, pity, have compassion on. No one. Everybody takes advantage of us. Everybody, it was the parable of Lazarus. All right. Everyone comes over here and licks the wounds. All right. They take advantage of us. You know, that's part of the curses. Deuteronomy 28 and 47 and 48, you know, about the lending. All right, we will always be the lendee, not the lender. All right. And then we will have to go to our oppressors for all things. All right. And people coming over here getting over us. All right, the stranger amongst you that will be elevated above you. I'm paraphrasing, but that's it. All right, by implication, Strong's definitions, it says to commensurate, by implication, to spare. All right, pity, spare. No one. The answer, like I said, is rhetorical. All right. Let's see. Psalms 142, I think it is. Hold on, 142. Let's see. This is Psalms 142. I just started to talk. This is King David. It says, a prayer when he was in the cave. It says, I cried unto the Most High Yahweh with my voice unto the Most High Yahweh did I make my supplication. I poured out my complaint before him. I shewed before him my trouble. And this is what we should be doing, all right? Praying to the Most High, saying, you know what, please get us up out of here. Make all your, this devil is doing this to us, such and such. Please, Psalms 51, 3, it says, when my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then thou knewest my path, and the way wherein I walked have they privily laid a snare for me. 4, and this is the point, and I looked on my right hand and beheld, but there was no man that would know me. Refuge failed me. No man cared for my soul. All right. 5, I cried unto thee, O Most High Yahweh. I said, thou art my refuge and my portion in the land of the living. Not Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Let's check out 4. All right. Because he's already proven time and time again he doesn't have and will not have our best interest at heart. Once again, this is Psalms 142, verse 4. He says, I looked on my right hand and beheld, but there was no man that would know me. Refuge failed me. No man cared for my soul. Refuge. This is Strong's H4498. Manawas, flight, refuge, place of escape. All right. A retreat, literally or figuratively. Abstractly, a fleeing, a pace, escape, way to flee. Flight, this whole system, this whole pit, if you will, is set up. All right. And that's part of the curses too. Deuteronomy, let's get it real quick. 28, I believe it's 65. Your foot shall know no rest. Your feet shall know. I'll get it. I don't want to butcher it. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 65. It says, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Most High Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. Once again, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Most High Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And that fits us to a T. All right. Let's get Psalms 69. Let's see. Psalm 69 and 20 says, reproach hath broken my heart, and I am full of heaviness. And I looked for some to take pity, but there was none. And for comforters, but I found none. And that's why I read Psalms 142 and 4. All right. You have to look for the Most High. All right. Because these devils have, once again, this is your enemy from the womb to the tomb, as the saying goes. All right. And it goes on here. Senate passed a similar, back to the article, it says the Senate passed a similar bill last year. All right, but would have to vote on a version approved by the House on Wednesday. Fuck these motherfuckers. They're never going to do anything. But it says the bill would add language to the Civil Rights Act of 1968, making lynching a violation. Like I said, I think this is a backdoor attempt. All right, this is more aimed at these freaks. All right, this LGBT IQ, I think it is now. These motherfuckers, all right? It says lynchings were horrendous, racist acts of violence, said Harris, for far too long. See, again, this is one of these schemes when we talk about 2 Corinthians 2, and, well, let's go there. All right. Talks about the wiles, and we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right. This is 2 Corinthians 2, as soon as it catches up with me. Verse 11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And when you go into that word devices, all right, it goes into like scheming devices. Strong's G.
Strong's G, 3540, Naima.
A mental perception, thought, an evil purpose. All right, there you go. All right, back to the article. It says, I'm a black man in America. It says, for Rush, the legislation is personal. He remembers when his mother gathered the family in their home in Chicago and showed the picture of Emmett Till on the cover of Jet magazine. The boy's mother, Mamie Till Mobley, had an open casket funeral in Chicago to show the world how Till, who had been visiting family in Mississippi, had been brutally beaten and shot in the head. All right, witnesses said 2 white men, Roy Bryant and J.W. Millum, kidnapped Till, whose body was later found floating in the Tallahatchie River. All right, and I'll just skip on down. It says there were 4,743 lynchings between 1882 and 1968, and yet no legislation. That should tell you all you need to know right there. All right, that's what was recorded, by the way. All right, and yeah, the rest of this you can read for yourself. I'll just post, of course, this link in the description box. And it goes into the history of lynching in the U.S. And I would encourage you to go into Wikipedia and read further, because there's a pattern to this. And one of the most important patterns is what we're entering into again, is these bad economic situations. And that prompts a lot of this, because you have down and out, Edomites that, jealousy and envy, and who do they take it out on? Jake, people who can't defend themselves. User 3127 goes right to the point. It says it wasn't a law because the very people that were doing the lynching was making the laws. And I'm going to end it right there for time's sake. I'm pretty sure you get the point. It says, once again, America has a gruesome history of lynching, but it's not a federal crime. A House vote could change that. Once again, I like to emphasize and point out that I personally think this is a backdoor way of protecting these the LGBTQ community, all right? Because the so-called civil rights never benefited us, all right? It benefited the Edomite, or so-called white woman, and these people right here, all right? Because our family structure, everything has been devastated. They always look for new ways to keep us off balance, all right? So with that, once again, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors once again to the apostles of Great Millstone who told me this truth. All right, salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity, in hopes of waking up, hopefully light. All right, so with that, Shalom, Abba Ball.